Hey you guys, I was I was doing some Uber Eats delivering and I saw some really amazing things, and I'll share with you in just a moment, some confirmation of what God's bringing into our lives. And I also want to share with you something that I was reminded of this morning when I was in church, and that is in John chapter 8 when Jesus is has they bring in the woman that was caught in the act of adultery. Interesting, they didn't bring in the man, and it was probably a Pharisee, since it was the Pharisees that caught her, right? So but the interesting thing is they stood her in the midst, and as soon as they brought her in standing, Jesus lowered himself. He stooped down to the ground. Now, he was in the temple, so he wasn't writing in just on the ground like in a dirt, right? Because it was a temple floor. But it's really, really interesting. He stooped down. He stooped down. And then the self-righteous and the ones that wanted to accuse him kept bugging him and trying to, get him to do something. And so he answered them, and and said that you who have not sinned, cast the first stone. And we know the story. They all left, right? Starting with the oldest to the youngest, right? Their conscience convicted them. It's not the Holy Spirit that convicts people. It was their conscience. Remember that. But it's really interesting. He never stood up above her during that time when she was at her most vulnerable. He kneeled down beside her. He didn't look on her nakedness. He didn't add to her shame. He knelt down beside her. And I think there's something so beautiful there if we really allow God to minister to us with that. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's little things that often are overlooked that really add such depth to Jesus's life and the stories in the Bible. Oh, okay. And he wanted me to tell you that the relationships are coming. And like no matter what, they're coming. Even if there was a lot of warfare to get them to you, they're coming. And there's just going to be such a great rejoicing. And the house is going to be given to you. God is giving you a house, and it's going to happen suddenly. You're just going to be like, oh gosh. It's going to be such a beautiful thing. But God he's doing that. He's really working that out for you, for all of us that have been given that promise, right? So I just want to let you know that. And I just appreciate everyone that's been praying for me and the ministry that God has placed in my hands. And I really, really appreciate that. And my dear sister that I actually met here at the cross, that God sent to me here, she gave a beautiful testimony before she got rebaptized today, and it was just an amazing thing. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her, and so proud of how God flows through her, and she's listening to the Holy Spirit. it's just, God is bringing extra. He's bringing extra. And I appreciate all y'all, by the way, that tip really well, because I don't know if people are aware of that, but when you deliver for, like DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything like that, you don't get like a, it's really just whatever the person pays. They don't actually give us anything. And so, you got to think about wear and tear and like how far they're having to drive. And then once they're done delivering to you, how far do they have to go back to get to where they live if they're stopping or whatever. There's just so many different things. But anyway, I just wanted to just say thank you and just encourage you with that. And just remember, he stooped down. He didn't stand over her, and he made sure that she knew that he wasn't above her, right? Like in that condescending, judgmental kind of way. He stooped down beside her. I just think that's so amazing. At a time when she could have been so filled with guilt and shame, and he didn't even like acknowledge, like he didn't even look at her in that state of guilt and shame, like he wasn't gonna even acknowledge that was who she was or a part of her, because it wasn't. Just read that story again in John 8 with new eyes and tell me what you see. I would love to hear in the comments what you see when you take your time and read it slowly. I love you guys. Bye.